Breaking news out of the NBA, where Damian Lillard has agreed to a 2-year max extension that is worth $122 million. That is from multiple reports. Dame has been firm that he wants to stay there and has spent his entire 10-year career in Portland, earning 5 All-NBA nods. Lillard is the Trailblazers' all-time leader in points per game, three-pointers, and PER. His new deal includes a player option for the 2026/27 season there. As you take a look at his stats there from the past 2 seasons, last year averaging 24 points per game. Let's welcome in former Coach of the Year Avery Johnson with us on the phone to talk about this breaking news here. Avery, Dame has said this entire time that he wants to stay in Portland. I think many of us thought at some point he would look elsewhere, but instead, with this new deal today, what do you make of it?
Very surprised, because this is a situation where obviously the Portland Trailblazers, they're not one of the top 6 or 7 teams in the Western Conference. Even if they max out, they're not one of the better teams. So very surprised, but this is a situation where it's comfort over convenience. He's comfortable in Portland. You know, they made the trade with Detroit with Jeremy Grant, bringing him over. You know, they got some young pieces there on the team. I've been watching them play, you know, young guys like Trendon Watford, who was on a 2-way contract after playing at LSU, watching their team. They got some young guys. But again, this is a situation where he's very comfortable in Portland. There were some conversations about whether their team was going to be put on the market for sale. Obviously, Mrs. Allen, who's now the head honcho for the Portland Trailblazers, said, no, we're not for sale. They were talking about selling the team to a lot of folks that were connected to Nike. But again, very surprised. But at the same time, this was more of a comfort level, more over convenience.
So we've seen sort of this rebuild here, and they're trying to build their roster through the draft. I mean, how long is this going to take before we see fairly good success for the Trailblazers? How many years would you put it at?
Oh, at least 5 years. When you look at the Western Conference and you look at Golden State, Memphis, I know the Mavericks lost Jalen Brunson, so we'll see how they can recover from that. You look at teams like the Clippers, they're getting Paul George and Kawhi Leonard back. That's a pretty significant deal there. And so when you look at those teams, you know, in the Western Conference, the teams in the elite teams, and then you got a team like New Orleans that's coming. If Zion Williamson is healthy, they're one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the Western Conference. Denver re-signed Jokic. They're one of the, and Jamal Murray, they get him back. They're one of the best, 6 teams. So again, when you look at the Western Conference, it's so deep. And if everybody stays healthy, Portland, independent of this move, re-signing Damian Lillard, remember they lost C.J. McCollum to the New Orleans Pelicans last year. They're still not a threat in the West.
Does this give them stability, though, or do you think they would have rather been able to do a complete rebuild without Dame?
Yeah, this is a situation that I compare with the Washington Wizards move with re-signing Bradley Beal. Re-sign him to do what? Okay, Bradley Beal is an outstanding player, but the move last year or the year before was to trade him. And even now, okay, you re-sign him. I love when players max out in their contract situation. That's what we fought for as players. So I love it. But you sign Bradley Beal to be a non-playoff team. Maybe if a couple of the other top teams get injured, you might be a play-in team. But if you're a play-in team, you're not going to make it past the play-in team. So you paid him to do really, not much of in terms of a championship caliber team. So it's the same thing with Damian Lillard. Great. He's healthy. I absolutely love it when players reach their maximum potential. Damian Lillard's great in the community. He's also a guy that's proven that he's also a rapper. I don't know rap music as much, but he can rap. And so, again, happy for him. He loves Portland. He's committed to helping them, trying to turn it around. I think the turnaround process is just going to take some time.
Avery Johnson say that turnaround process potentially taking up to 5 years, but Dame Lillard agreeing to a 2-year max extension with the Trailblazers. Avery, thank you so much. Taking a look at the odds to win the NBA title, a very, very, very long shot when it comes to the Trailblazers, of course, in this rebuild mode, although keeping Dame Lillard there. Trailblazers plus 10,000.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.